Well, when I was a baby, I was beaten, bruised, swollen, like all here was swollen and bruised. And my ribs, I believe it was like a handprint, like a noticeable handprint, like somebody had me and was gripping me. I think it was like, I don't remember which arm it was, but it was a bruise on my arm, and then I had bruising all on my back. Well, who did it to me? When I would ask my mom, she wouldn't really give me a straight answer. She would always say like it was a rough time, or the babysitter, the person that she put in the statements and stuff. She would always direct that towards him, And I'm kind of thinking like, well, if it was him, then why didn't he get in trouble for it? So that means either you did it or somebody that did it and you covering up for him. If I'm hearing one story from my dad and then I'm hearing a very butchered story from my mom, it's like, okay, well, I'm kind of going to go over to what my dad's saying, because he's provided me paperwork. He done provided different stuff where he could back up his story, And then you got my mom, where I asked my mom what happened. She can't really explain it to me. As for the relationship with my mom, she wasn't around me, when she came to Stockton, because that's where we was living at the time. When she came out, I'm like, okay, cool. I got my mom's here, got my dad here. We together. I'm the only child at the time, but we're together. So I'm like, okay, we good. But then she left. She was only there for about a month. And I was in a bad mind state. I could say I was depressed. So my dad put me in football. I started playing football. That took my mind off of it. So I feel like by me playing football, it distracted me. Okay, you know what? My mom gonna come to my games. She gonna turn it around. She gonna come to my games. So I tell her, hey, Ma, I got a game this weekend. You trying to come? Or you want to come to my game? Wouldn't really get an answer. Saturday game day come. She not there. My dad was there though. My dad came to all the games. Even with him being diagnosed with cancer, he still came to the games. He still made a way to come to the games. As far as me, graduating, prom, all that stuff, she wasn't there for it. I didn't have that support from my mom. That's when I started to transition to the, what? It is what it is. I'm not gonna put my energy towards that no more, My pops, he was the main one that, he was the one that started the football stuff. My mom wasn't. She wasn't there. And I might spend a weekend, or I might spend half of my spring break, or something, but that was because of me. I would be the one to say, I want to go spend some time with my mom. So I never called her mom because I wasn't around her like that, But then there came a day where I was with her, I was visiting, and I called her, her name, and she said, no, you gotta call me Mom. As far as me, talking to her, yeah, she would call me, and a lot of times she'd be drunk, and you could hear it, slurring the words, kind of just dragging stuff on, getting off topic, maybe saying some stuff that she probably already said. I get a lot of that. That's how this whole situation even came to be a thing. She would always talk about how she wanted to clear her name. I'm like, I'm not even concerned about that. I'm more concerned with you trying to make a relationship with me because I did my part.
Lynetta, what's your reaction to what your son is saying?
It's kind of hard for me to watch and hear that. But he's pretty much, he's being truthful for the most part.
He's being truthful.
Yeah.
I'm watching this tape and I hear your son talk about football, and my son's playing football right now, and me and my wife go to every Saturday, we're going to his games, and he says, you didn't go to his games.
I only went to one.
Why?
Between me taking care of my other two children that I have, and it hasn't been easy.
Can't you take your two children to watch their half-brother or whatever he is to them, to watch him play football? What happened why this all occurred?
He was beaten, and I was accused of doing that.
Who did it?
The babysitter's husband, I believe, did it.
The babysitter's husband?
Yes.
Who is the babysitter to you?
She is a relative.
Yeah. So you entrusted somebody to watch your son. How old was he at the time?
He was 4 days from turning a year.
Okay, so he was a baby. Mm-hmm. And somebody must have slept him, right?
That man, he tortured my son.
So your son suffered a large bruise, was observed on the entire left side of the child's face, including his eye and ear. A doctor found the bruise to have been caused by a blow which could not have been self-inflicted nor resulted from a fall. So he gets taken away from you because of this, because they believe that somebody beat the crap out of your son, right?
Yes.
Do you do anything ever to fight to get him back?
I attended anger management classes, parenting classes. I did drug testing. I did everything they asked me to do.
And so why didn't you get him back?
They just never gave them back to me.
So you did everything they asked, and they just said, nah, we're not giving him back.
He ended up staying with his dad.
Michael's dad couldn't be here, but he made a tape, and he tells a little bit different story. Let's watch that now.
I think that Lynetta is being very, very untruthful, and has been for over 20 years. On the 24th of January, 2001, he was to come see me that weekend, and she called me and said that someone had beat him. And so I told her to get to my house ASAP. The injuries were to his left eye, the right, or as it was, the left portion part of his forehead and head in here was swollen. His ear, he had bruises on his ear here. His whole eye was swollen. It was pretty much closed, but it was very bruised, very purplish and red. And for it to have happened 2 days prior to him coming was it was just like, wow, how did that happen? And this happened 2 days ago. And when I seen, it was a thumbprint in the middle of, on the right side of his ribs on the back. And then there were like 3 fingerprints on his ribs in the front where someone picked him up or had him by his ribs. There was bruising on the left side of his leg and on his arm, on his left arm. It was swollen. What my thought was that the mother had done it, Lynetta, and she did it while she had been drinking. And then there was a story that another person had something to do with it, that she had been dealing with, another gentleman. And this person had threw my son down on the ground at her home. She basically, I believe, covered it up and tried to blame the babysitter. That's what I believe. And then once the other bruises was found, she tried to blame that on me. I absolutely believe that she was there. She either did it or she seen the person that did it. Lynetta lost all her rights, and it was voluntarily because of the things that she did not want to do and was not trying to do. There was parenting, there was also a psychological, there was a 52-week program which was for domestic violence and random urinalysis testing. And she had no part, did not want to have no part in doing that. 2 weeks after we had a big fight where I was stabbed, she decided to come and get Mikey while I was at work and was gone for about 2 to 3 weeks until we had to go to court. She brought him back to my home. She left him on the porch. She waited until I opened the door, and then she jumped in the car and she left. My son was in a crib with a note attached to him. The note was stating that she did not want to go to court, so she was giving up her right at that moment, before we even went to court, saying that he was my child and that she just birthed him. It's in the letter, I'm not making it up. Lynetta is going to fail that lie detector test. I believe it wholeheartedly. She will.
That's your baby, not mine.
Can I see that?
I just carried him for you.
That I would never say anything like
I
that.
don't have any children. What you got to say about that?
I didn't write that. I would never say anything like that. Ever.
You might not say it, but it's written.
I didn't write it.
Who wrote the letter?
I don't know. I've never seen it before.
I hope he doesn't hate me for this.
Can I look at that?
Sure.
No.
Is it your writing?
It looks like my writing, but I do not recall writing this.
What do you want for your mom?
I don't want anything.
Really? You, at some level, deep down, you don't want to have a relationship with your mom?
I've tried.
Yeah.
You know, you can only try so much. You can't force somebody to be around you.
When you hear your son say that, what's your response?
That hurts.
This hurts.
But I don't blame him, no.
But what are you going to do about it?
I want to try, and I want to be better so that we can have a relationship. I love you. I do with my whole heart. I just need you to know. I do. I need you to know. Like, I haven't been there, and I'm sorry for that.
Sorry can't make up for no time.
I know.
Lynetta came here, and she took a lie detector test because she lost Michael years ago. Never really been in his life. She says she wants a relationship with him. So she came here and took a lie detector test. And we asked her, do you have direct knowledge as to who is responsible for causing the injuries to Michael Jr. in January of 2001? She answered no. Were you present when Michael sustained the injuries on or about January 24th, 2001? She answered no. On or about January 24th, 2001, did you cause physical harm to Michael Jr., leaving a mark on his body? She answered no. The results came back all the same, and they came back that Lynetta did not tell the truth.
I did not.
Well, you can't remember writing the letter. Maybe you can't remember beating him. I'll give you this. You probably were drunk when you did it.
I did not beat you. I didn't.
Right off the bat, you let off with the wrong foot.
Y'all know you probably don't want a relationship with me now because of this test, but
Oh, you didn't have a relation. This test has nothing to do with the world that you live in. Nothing. Don't blame the Steve Wilkos show for not raising your son. Why do you think you're failing it? Because you're not truthful.
I tell the truth.
Okay. What do you want to say to her?
Nothing.
Fair enough. Part of this show is redemption, making amends, correcting wrongs, and you're not willing to do it for your own
I'm willing to
son.
do whatever he wants me to do.
No, you're not, because you won't admit what you did.
I didn't
You
do
want to
it.
save yourself. You want to save your image, whatever you want.
There's no image
You've
to
shunned
save.
your son. You didn't go to one football game. You're not there for him. When you do call him, you're drunk. And with that, stay the mother you are and get the hell off my stage. You got a good one with your dad who, even with cancer, still going to your games, watching out for you, protecting you. And sometimes that's more than enough.
Right.
Good luck to you. Good luck. Wish you all the best.
I was raped.
My name is Steve Wilkos, and I'm an investigative talk show host with a law enforcement background.
It was my life or his.
My job is to get truth and justice for everyday people. Watch our videos now.